And why my family knew about Jenny L. Clark is because before John Bird got hired, Janice Faltersack and Ted Grove already knew about Jenny L. Clark, and they knew this idea that John Bird would have before he got hired in '98, because Jenny L. Clark got her licensing in '96 in her law office. Well, they knew that after I got contracted, I was never going to fuck around and I was going to basically work for the courts to protect my contract for whatever fucking reason I decided to do it. But they knew that I would end up getting involved being a rat. Being a rat, they knew that I would end up in, maybe some major cases and shit like that, you could call them. And by that, for the courts, the cases gets played. I mean, maybe by like helping the victim or getting him the intel on if the guy was on drugs or not, or whatever, by like going there and asking the guy, or whatever. The idea what Norm Miller knowing about this before John Bird got hired, because I believe Norm Miller got hired in '97, and then Doug Carpenter knew about it before Jenny L. Clark was hired, because I shot Doug Carpenter in '93. Varick knew about it with Norm Miller, and Doug Carpenter decided that all the contracts could be human trafficked, and they would be the ones to human traffic them and contract me with those people. And that way it was a breach of contract by me and the prosecutor or the courthouse. Whoever decided in the courthouse goes to jail with me, and the cops never get in trouble because they're the ones who are the victims of the contracts and of me ratting on them. The only way they could, what they're trying to say is that with the contract signed by Carla, that it was a breach of contract by myself, and that I did not try and stop the police or to Katie and all that shit. Because she knows that me and Sarah Underwood never breached our contract. So she wants to defend Sarah Underwood as a victim and say that it's Kaylee's background that got everybody pimped. One check, technically, if Jenny L. Clark was even assigned to represent anyone, no matter what she found out, she would be breaching her liability of giving the court her show of good faith of representation of those people. So there doesn't really need to be a contract with Jenny L. Clark. As long as she says she'll represent him, and then she goes back on a show of good faith, well, therefore she's breached a contract that she verbally made with the court systems. But the whole thing is that they wanted it for the breach of contract. Why Chris Peterman wanted Chelsea Clausen raped and everybody around here, and he wants to be like Jenny L. Clark, because then Chelsea Clausen was a breach of contract, and he's here defending my mom and my family from that breach. Like all this stupid bullshit. This guy, Chris Peterman, is a big old fat piece of shit, and he needs to be put in fucking prison. He also needs to be put in his goddamn place.